I'm personally torn by what's going on right now as far as online purchasing and delivery of like video game systems, and how should I say, consoles and whatnot. And I've remarked on it a little bit, but it occurs to me that, there's certain things that we could do as a community in order to demand that this stop or be stopped. The problem is the how should I say, the people behind it aren't doing enough to do anything about it. And that's what's causing the situation to get really out of control. I mean, this year was really bad to be a gamer, even though it should have been good to be a gamer. Because if you really think about it, we have never had a period in our lifetime where we could sit home and play video games the whole year long. From February, the lockdown started onwards to basically now, because a lot of cities are still doing soft lockdowns. And you'd think that you'd be able to sit home and play video games because, none of y'all are really doing schoolwork. And you also know none of y'all are really working at home. Y'all are just basically sitting at home and y'all watching television and playing video games. But I think the shame of it is that, it was so difficult, if not impossible, to actually get these games and get these game systems simply because the scalpers jumped on. So I was just reading a story Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. PS5 scalpers say you snooze, you lose after buying 1,000 Xbox Series X before Christmas. Now, my thing is, I have been, I've been an Xbox Live member for probably I think it was probably last like 10 or 12 years or something like that. In fact, I'm still paying for it despite the fact I haven't touched my Xbox in like months. I can't tell you the last time I played on my Xbox, because after Mortal Kombat X, it was like I just didn't feel like playing it anymore. And then I got Mortal Kombat 11 on this computer right here. And the beautiful thing, if you really want to spend your money wisely, get yourself a gaming computer. Go buy an HP Omen or something. Get yourself a gaming computer, because I'll tell you, when you have a gaming computer, if you want to play Xbox games, all you got to do is get the USB cable. You hook an Xbox controller right to your computer. The PlayStation 5, you can hook a PlayStation 5 controller right to the computer. Some of the games you can play because they're cross-platform, but some of the PS5 exclusives, I don't know about those, but they're probably not worth the frustration and the aggravation, right? So these scalpers claim that they bought up 1,000 Xbox Series X. Now, here's the thing that kills me. So they say, okay, PS5 scalpers have claimed that they've scalped 1,000 Xbox Series X before Christmas. You snooze, you lose. They said that they had purchased 3,500 PS5 consoles, buying from retailers in order to sell to customers at inflated prices. And now that after the PS5 hype, now they're doing it to the Xbox. And it says both the PS5 and Xbox Series X are highly targeted by scalpers who purchase the products only to sell them back. And as like the PS5 was selling for more than $2,000 after pre-orders went live. See, now here's the thing that gets me. Like, I don't have to read this entire thing. You can read this yourself. It's at GameRevolution.com. And you've probably already read these things, because if you've looked for a PS5, chances are you couldn't get one. Here's the thing that kills me. When you go on eBay, now, what we really should do together as a community, because I think whipping Donald Trump's ass by 80 million votes, I think that should prove to you that our vote and our money matter. And even if you didn't believe that enough, there was always the boycott of the Montgomery bus boycott under Reverend Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, that prove that when you hit these people in their pockets, they have no choice but to change their policies. And my thing is, here you go. It says that there's a PS5 seller right here. And some of this information can't be doctored by the individual people. But it says that he's selling brand new PlayStation 5 disc versions on hand. See, that's what you have to look for, because some of these people, they don't even have the system. They have a pre-order, and they're waiting for the pre-order, and they're selling you the right to be in the pre-order. I don't trust any of that bullshit. But my thing is, this guy sold 8 of these things at a price of $1,099. So basically, he doubled his money. If he sold 8 of these things at $1,099, then he's basically, if each one was $500, he's basically more than doubled his money. But I guess the reason why he says free shipping is because it probably costs him about $70 in order to actually ship these things, right? Or probably $50. I really don't know how much they charge because of the size of the box. But the thing that kills me is eBay knows that this is going on. Now, if I were eBay, or forget the corporate people at eBay, this is what we can do about it. What we all need to do about it is we need to all get together and either write a letter or demand that eBay stop allowing the sales of PlayStation 5s and Xboxes at anything more than MSRP. Think about it. If we made it so that if we told eBay, guess what? We're going to boycott your asses. And eBay, if you're the CEO, I want you to hear me, because who knows? I might end up being the spearhead face of this movement against you, because this isn't the first time this happened. As you know, over the last couple of months, I waited in line 3 times. I waited in line for the 3080, got one 3080, actually got 2, but anyway, I didn't get them to scalp them. I got him to actually, at one point, to use them because we were building one computer and whatnot. Then I went back and got online again for a 3090, managed to get one. Then I went back online and got a 3070. The thing about it is all of those video cards were being scalped. And the reason why I knew I had to go and get one is because otherwise I wouldn't have had one for my own system. But other than that, I knew that if I tried to order it, I knew I'd never be able to get it. What we need to do is we need to tell eBay and possibly even Amazon, we're going to refuse to buy anything from you unless you put a temporary suspension on these sales of these systems for anything more than MSRP. And eBay, the problem with eBay is they don't care, because for him to sell this thing at $1,099, all they're going to do is charge him about $60 or $70 as a fee. And after that, they just don't care. So the thing about it is, some people are right now saying, you know what we should do? You should just wait until Christmas is over and wait a couple of months until these things are back in stock. The problem is you don't know if the scalping is going to continue. Think about Nintendo Switch. For as long as Nintendo Switch has been on the market, I have known nothing but Nintendo Switch to be out of stock. Now, personally, I don't play those games, those console games. I don't play those kiddie games. So I've seen Nintendo Switches in Walmart, and I saw them, and I was like, oh, that's cool. They have it in stock. And I just kept on going. And I could have bought one. I just didn't want one because I didn't need it. It's just like even me now. I have a computer. I can run any game. I got a Core i9 Extreme. I got a 3090. I got 64 gigs of RAM. I got 8 terabyte freaking SSD. Meanwhile, anybody who buys one of these stupid little systems, they're going to have to spend top dollar just to buy an SSD. They're going to have to spend like $200 for a 1 terabyte SSD. That's stupid to me, because I was buying these things like crazy. Like, in fact, I have the boxes somewhere. But anyway, that's beyond the point. I built up and invested in building a gaming computer. I mean, I got it all. I mean, I basically play a lot of flight simulators. And I usually use my headsets or whatever. I was thinking about getting the Oculus Quest 2, but I don't know. Some people say, yeah, you should just get the Valve Index. But right now, because I have a 34-inch monitor, I'm not really that crazy to get virtual reality. I just want it because when you're playing a flight simulator, it's easy to look around. My point is, if you invest in a computer, you'd get so much more out of it than buying one of these consoles. The problem is people want this thing just so they can have it. And as we're approaching Christmas, this is December 1st today. As we're approaching Christmas, you're going to get a lot of these kids who are going to want PS5s and want Xbox. They're going to want Xbox Series X. They're going to want PS5s. And their parents are going to be stuck either being forced to pay $1,099 or in some cases $1,500. That's crazy. And the sad thing is, there's no other way for them to get it. There's just no other way. And my thing is, you have no idea how long the scalping is going to continue. Nintendo Switch has been on the market for about 3 or 4 years or something like that. I think it's probably about 3 years. But when you go to the stores, you don't see them in the stores because people buy them up, and the manufacturing is so low until even when they do come in, you don't really even see them. They just get purchased like almost immediately. And it really, really sucks because, especially with this is Christmas. Now, granted, first of all, a lot of you who are listening to this, you've got kids who've asked you for a PS5, and in my opinion, they probably haven't done anything to deserve it. So, in my opinion, I'd tell you up front, I'd be like, listen, just like I've told you before about cell phones, save your money. You shouldn't be buying a kid no cell phone, and second of all, you shouldn't be buying them something that costs $1,000 for a freaking video game system. So my only thing is, even though this thing at $500, I still think it's too much. My thing is, I do think it's unfair to the people who do want to buy these things because, another problem is it's not even just the kids. It's a lot of you grown-ass men who are 30 and 40 years old sitting at home on your asses playing PlayStation 5 while your woman is disappointed at you. She's not going to tell you anything up front secretly because she doesn't want to ruin her meal ticket and she doesn't want to end up either put out on the street or not be able to pay her rent. But I'll tell you like this. If you're over 30 years old and you don't know, and first of all, you probably don't even own a house. But if you're sitting at home at 30 years old playing PlayStation and your cheating girlfriend is out there driving her Nissan Altima and you don't realize it because you're sitting home on NBA 2K, you're part of the problem. So as far as I'm concerned, it's worse than just the kids. It's also you. But all I'm saying is this. If you want this scalping to stop, you need to get together and we need to make like a boycott of eBay and say, listen, until a year from now, if you don't stop these scalpers by putting MSRP caps on these sales, like they should cap all of these sales at $500. And then you've got the straight up scammers who've been trying to sell people pictures of PS5, and they're selling them pictures for $100, and the people get the thing. They're like, wait a minute, I didn't buy that. I bought a console. And then they find out, no, we tricked you into buying a picture. I'll show you that in a minute because I was looking at a news story. But it's a damn shame. Look at this asshole right here. $40 for the box. This guy is selling the box for $40, and somebody put a bid on it. There's people bidding for the box. That's ridiculous. Now, this person right here, this is a little bit more reasonable, but this is an auction. $860. This thing is going to go up to $1,000. It's 2 days left. eBay could easily put an end to this because you got to remember, if Microsoft and Sony, if they can't say, okay, well, we're only going to sell direct to the consumer and we're going to make you do an ID check and we're going to make sure we know who you are, and we're going to ship it directly to you. If they can't go through all that, the one thing that we could do is knock out the apparatus for the scalpers. If we knock out eBay, the scalpers will have no choice. They'll only have two choices. They'll either have to sell it to you at MSRP, which is fair, $500, or they're going to have to take them back and refund them. Here's the problem. The scalpers purchased these things using credit. They didn't use cash for this. They purchased them using credit. So it's like if you go into a store and you max out your credit card. Like, let's say I go into a store right now and I have a credit card with $10,000 as a limit, right? And suddenly they have a bunch of PS5s and there's no limit to how many I can buy. I can buy 10 PS5s with my credit card, and then I can scalp them for $20,000 in return, which would net me a profit of $10,000. The problem that you're facing is the fact that everybody's shopping with a credit card, number one. Number two, there's no limit placed on how many you can buy. And number three, the internet encourages the scalping by making it so that, that people can come on and demand outrageous prices. But I'll also say this. A lot of these bids are fake. A lot of these people who go on to the eBay and they bid, a lot of these bids are fake too because they're people who are trying to screw with the scalpers. And what they'll do is you'll see, if you're an eBay scalper or you're selling anything on eBay, sometimes you'll see a person who gets onto eBay, they have 0 stars because they haven't bought or sold anything prior. And they'll all of a sudden they'll jump on eBay in order to bid snipe somebody else at the last few minutes of the bid. And then they'll say that, yeah, I'm purchasing your system for $1,200. This is $1,200, and then they'll say, no, I'm not going to pay you. And what do they have to lose? Nothing. And the reason why is because stupidly, eBay doesn't verify their clients. If you get on eBay, they don't verify you. So the scams are going both ways now. If eBay would do what Sony and Microsoft should have done and verify all of the clients by saying, okay, first of all, we're going to give you a capture to make sure you're not a bot and make it a capture that a bot can't pass. That's number one. That'll make it so that you don't log in and automatically all the consoles are sold out. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to check a credit card and we're going to send you a little code or something to your bank account, and then you have to re-enter that code back to us so we can verify who you are. A bot would never be able to pull that off. eBay doesn't verify. Sony, Microsoft, they're doing direct sales to Best Buy, Micro Center. They don't verify. The only thing you have to do is line up. Now, I think, especially considering it's November, that lining up in the cold and sitting on a bed and bringing a bed with you to sleep in the cold in front of a GameStop, that's ridiculous. But there's some people who are just willing to do it. And I can't fault them if they're willing to do it, because I've done it once before. I went for the iPhone 6, and I slept in front of the Apple Store in Americana, Manhasset, right? And I'll never do that again, and I don't have to. And the reason why is because Apple, what they started doing, Apple started making it so that in order for you to get one of these phones, like right now I'm using a 12 Pro Max, 512 gigabyte, right? In order for you to get a phone, you had to pre-order. And they told you exactly what time to pre-order, and you jump on, you pre-order, and there's no way that a bot can get ahead of you because Apple actually makes sure that you're who you say you are. I have the Apple Card, for instance. By having an Apple Card and going onto their site, they already know that you're a real person. They know that you're not a bot. Apple said that the reason why they were doing the pre-order system was to make it so that there'd be no terrorist attacks against people standing online. That was brilliant. Ever since the iPhone 6, I have never had to wait online for one of these phones. When I want one of these phones, I go pre-order it, boom, walk in, get it, and I'm out. And that's it. If you have no pre-order, you're not getting it. Now, with these PlayStations and these Xboxes, the problem is that even pre-ordering it was rife with scams because these goddamn bots. So when Walmart and Best Buy tell you to log in at a specific time, everybody logs in at the same time and it crashes their servers. That's just stupid. So what some stores do is they just hand out vouchers. So if you wait in line, they give you a voucher and they're like, okay, you only get one per household. That's a little bit more fair than having everybody do stuff by computer, because again, you're not against a person, you're up against an organization. They are cheating you by using these bots in order to go on and automatically buy up entire crops. That's ridiculous. Now, I'm happy that I personally don't care about either one of these systems. Like, again, I haven't touched my Xbox in like almost a year because I got this PC. This thing's a monster. I love it. I'd just be playing DCS and Microsoft Flight Simulator and Counter-Strike. And it's like, I love my computer. I love it. I put so much money into this and it runs like a charm. Love it. But my thing is, for the kids, and I hate saying this because the kids don't deserve this stuff. Let's face it, they haven't done anything to deserve a $500 video game console. When I was a kid, the most expensive thing I would ever ask for was like a bike or I think at one point a television, which was like $200. But now they've gotten you in the habit of buying $500 and $1,000 products. That's ridiculous. That's why you're in credit card debt. So most of these kids don't deserve this stuff. So if you can't get it, believe me, I'm not losing any sleep over it because it's not like the Grinch stole Christmas. It's like they don't even deserve this stuff. But as for you 30-year-old men who are sitting on your ass playing PlayStation while your wife's out there with her cheating girlfriend car, the Nissan Altima, y'all don't deserve it either. But I'll just say it like this. If y'all somehow come up with $1,000 from your Trump stimulus check to buy one of these things, okay, fine, whatever. Free market's always right. Go out and buy one. But this whole scamming thing, it just gets under my skin because I see the solution, but I don't see anybody doing anything about the solution. So in this story, it's like eBay is telling scammers to stop selling photos of the PlayStation 5 for hundreds of dollars. And by the way, let me also say this. To any of you who go on, like I was looking at that, to any of you who go on, what is it called, Facebook Marketplace, let me give you a warning right now. If you go on Facebook Marketplace, chances are there's a scammer at the end of it. If you know a person personally who has multiple units, maybe you can buy one from them, no problem. But if you go on eBay, I'm guaranteeing you somebody's trying to scam you. Like, look at these things. $700 Bronx, New York. Bronx, New York, $600. Long Island City, Bronx, New York. Let me tell you something. If you go into the Bronx and you're stupid enough to carry cash on you, not only are you getting scammed, but chances are you're going to get robbed. The police are going to find you naked and stabbed. And they're going to take your sneakers and they're going to take your money. And they never had a PS5. In fact, a lot of these ads are so fake. Look at this ad. This looks so fake. I bet that he just took a stock photo from the internet, and he put that on here, the Bronx. I ain't going to no goddamn Bronx. I don't even want to go through the Bronx to get to New Jersey. That's how bad the Bronx is. The Bronx is like a killing field. It's like, no, you don't want to go there for anything. If you're a kid and you get on Facebook Marketplace, this is worse than Craigslist. You are going to get scammed. I'm just going to say just like that. You are being scammed. Do not do it. And let me tell you this. These people on Facebook Marketplace, the first thing they're going to say to you is, oh, yeah, well, you know, I've heard a lot of people tried to buy from me, but I've gotten stood up for a couple of times. So there's a deposit, and you got to put a deposit down. Do not put deposits down on one of these consoles. Do not do it. If you do it, and you get robbed, and I see you on television after you get robbed, I'm going to laugh at my television because I said don't do it. If you send these people a deposit, they will disappear with the money. So you should think of it like this. Sending a deposit for Facebook Marketplace PS5 is just like sending a Nigerian prince money so that he can help you launder millions of dollars in oil money. You're getting scammed. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. So all you little kids, and by the way, there's a reason I'm bringing this up. Some of my little cousins have called me up, and they're like, "Yeah, there's a guy on Facebook, and he's saying that he's selling it for this." And I'm like, "Yo, listen, it's a scam. It's a scam. Don't do it to yourself. It's a scam. It's all scams. And until you understand that it's all scams, you're going to get ripped off. Just don't do it. I don't want to see you get ripped off. I don't want to see you naked and stabbed and have your wallet stolen and your sneakers taken from you. Don't do it. And especially when you see these bad neighborhoods like the Bronx, New York, man, that's like going to Camden, New Jersey. Don't do it. It's a scam. It's like going into the middle of Chicago or Murderopolis. Don't do it. You're being scammed. Just don't do it. Leave the scammers alone. Leave the scammer. All you little kids, I know you want one of these things. You don't deserve it. Your parents ain't got the money. Your parents probably maxed out their credit cards for Thanksgiving. Don't do it. It's a scam. I keep saying it's a scam. I don't know how I beat it into your heads. This is a scam. Leave the scammers alone. So once again, the only way we're going to beat these people is if we all get together and sign petitions in order to tell eBay that you're not. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. This guy's selling for $1,400 each. That's ridiculous. But listen, the only way you're going to beat them is if you tell eBay that we're going to boycott you unless you stop or put caps on these sales at MSRP. And if nobody can sell these things for any more than MSRP, the market for scalping will collapse. And not only should they do it for these, they should do it for video cards, and they should do it for Nintendo Switch, and they should do it for anything that they know that there's obvious scam and grift involved. And that, by the way, that doesn't automatically mean that the scamming will stop. The scams may continue. However, the scalping will be cut right in half because if they have no way to get rid of these things, they can't simply sit around with a bunch of PlayStations sitting in their house because ultimately they'll start losing money. So eventually they'll have no choice but to, give these things back to the stores that they bought them for. Because you think about it, if you buy a bunch of things on your credit card and I take out $10,000 worth of PlayStations on a credit card, eventually the credit card bill is going to come due. Once that credit card bill comes due, either I have the money to pay it back or I don't. I would say that all you got to do is starve these scalpers for at least 2 months. And by then, they'll get hit with so many fees and fines if they don't pay it off or if they don't refund these things that it won't even be worth it to them to do this anymore. And it's just like with iPhone. Apple widened the availability. They forced you to pre-order, and they made it so that all you do is you walk in, get the phone, and leave. There's no real line anymore. Until these retailers do it like that, the Apple way. Apple does everything smart. That's the reason why these stupid Samsungs are so boring, and they're trying to sell folding phones that suck, and when you put them in your pocket, they break, and the screen flexes, because glass don't fold. But anyway, not to get off a tangent. Until they do it like Apple does it, it's not good. Okay, it's just not good. So what I'm saying is we got to work together. We got to do, what is it called? We got to work together to do a boycott of eBay. And I'm a good guy on eBay. I have 350 positive stars. I sell a lot of stuff on eBay. Everybody loves me on eBay. I have no negative feedback. Bottom line is what's going on here is criminal. And until you do something about it, it's going to keep happening. And I tell you this, we are so lucky that games are downloaded now rather than you go to the store and purchase a game. And the reason why is because now with digital downloads, there's basically no supply issue. It doesn't matter how high the demand is for Cyberpunk or whatever, or Call of Duty. All you got to do is go on and download it. The worst that you'll have to do is wait a while for it to download because the servers are loaded up. But for the most part, we are lucky that the games themselves are digital and not physical. The problem is the hardware is physical, and it's subject to scalping. So you can tell me what you think about what I'm proposing, and I'm not saying this is even a proposal. I want to do this. I would love to put my face at the head of a national boycott for eBay and for Amazon, especially Amazon. I don't know why you idiots keep sending Jeff Bezos your money and then wondering why he's got trillions of dollars he doesn't pay taxes. I don't send him a dime. I buy everything from eBay. I don't buy nothing from Jeff Bezos. So that's all I'm saying. So you can tell me what you think. And that's basically all I had to say. So, chances are you haven't gotten a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. Chances are you're not going to get one. And that's just how it is. So until you're ready to do things my way, it's like nothing's going to change. So this is all I'm proposing. So you can tell me what you think about my recommendation, and I'll see you in the chat. Okay, so for all of you who follow my experimental trading account right here, yeah, you probably noticed that we lost some money today. So as far as the account goes, I am down from $12,000 to $10,833, which means I lost about $1,300, give or take, right? So obviously the main thing that I lost money on, actually it was two things, and that's just in this account. I'm not even going to talk about the other one because that's not part of this video. I'm only following one account here. But Candy and Neo both got sold off. So Candy, as you may remember, on Friday was trading about twice as much as it is now. Right now it's at $8.70. I still have a gain of $366, making my market value $17.40. And as far as Neo in this portfolio, I had 12 shares right there. Cost per share that I bought at was $44.36, and right now I'm down to a gain of $15.60. So here's what's happening. Basically, it looks like to me that this is more of the Trump trade war against China stuff coming on. And the reason why I say that is because in this November 30th article right here, they're talking about the fact that they are threatening to delist China stocks. Now, this isn't the first time I had heard about this. I actually heard about this a long time ago. And again, it was part of Trump's trade war because he was trying to basically get revenge for coronavirus destroying his presidency. So the title of it was China Stock Delisting Threat Grows for Alibaba, JD.com, NEO, amid House vote, candy fraud allegations. I personally believe the allegations are fake, but the thing about it is it's all a big, how should I say, it's all a big anti-China movement, mostly spearheaded by the Trump administration in order to basically attack Chinese companies. So it says new fraud allegations against Chinese electric vehicle maker Candy come at a bad time for Wall Street. On Wednesday, the House has scheduled a vote on the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act. So keep that in mind. Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act. Now, where do you think that bullshit comes from about holding somebody accountable? It's funny. I was listening to Patriot XM all day, and Sean Hannity and freaking Andrew Wilkow, they're still with that bullshit. Oh, when are we going to hold China accountable and blah, 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 blah. And they're just mad because Trump lost the election. And on January 20th at high noon, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden will be swearing in. So this was started as a way to get revenge against China, right? And I guess it started, really, the tumble started with Alibaba because they were running a spinoff, Ant, as a technology company. And Alibaba first took their hit. So I think they dropped about $50 to $60 per share from, like, I think it was close to like 300 at the time. Neo and Candy look like they've already taken their hits because Neo's down to freaking, what is this? Neo's down to $45. So let's see. It says, okay, Alibaba dropped 4.9% Monday. Pinduoduo dropped 4.5%. The bill, which already cleared the Senate in May, could kick Chinese companies off U.S. stock exchanges within 3 years. So basically, I was trying to basically say in my videos, I was trying to say, yeah, you can bet on China because the thing about it is their companies, for the most part, are more stable. They have a much larger market that they're selling to, and there's a lot more potential money to be made. And basically, Trump and his loser administration comes right behind me, and they put a House bill up that says, yeah, we're going to get rid of Chinese stocks because we got to hold China accountable. They cost me the presidency. Because of them, I don't get to be president anymore because of the stupid China virus. So anyway, basically, that's the long and short of this. So that just goes to show you one of the things that, first of all, you never put all of your money into the stock market. That's number one. Number two, it always makes more sense to spread your money around instead of just go into one thing and to diversify. Number three, you can never be sure what these scumbags in your government are doing because they're anything. Some people see this Holding Foreign Countries Accountable Act as just more government regulation. I see it as anti-free market. And I'm a real Republican, not like these pieces of shit in the White House and these scumbags in the Congress. Real Republicans wouldn't be using bigger government in order to try to take revenge like this. In fact, I think if Trump had kept his stupid ass mouth shut in the first place, instead of attacking China in the first place, I think coronavirus as a pandemic probably would have never happened. But that's hypothetical, and there's no way I could prove that. The thing about it is these aren't real Republicans. These are big government conservatives. They're all scum as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to impeach every last one of them, honestly. But, you know, I'm not, I don't have that kind of power because otherwise I'd have every last one of these assholes up on charges, especially those people who we stopped talking about who during the coronavirus beginnings of the pandemic, they went and sold all their stocks because they already knew what they were going to vote on as far as medicines were concerned. I hope each and every one of them gets thrown headfirst into a cold jail cell somewhere underground that we don't even know where it is, and then they throw away to sell it, so you can't even visit them. That's what I hope. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen because, you know, they have a Holding Foreign Countries Accountable Act, but what they don't have is a Holding American Scumbags in Government Accountable Act. See, the one thing I can appreciate about China is if you do embezzlement or fraud on the level that we've seen, they basically execute you by taking you out into a field and they have soldiers put 2 bullets in the back of your head. So I know that they hold their people accountable, but unfortunately here I just don't see enough of that happening. So basically that's just where it is. You can read this on your own. But as for the account, okay, the plummet came from candy. So Wednesday, today is Tuesday, December 1st. Wednesday, I'm guessing we're supposed to find out what happens to this nonsense with the Holding Foreign Accountable, whatever, Act. Holding Foreign Countries Accountable Act, whatever. So if they do pass that bill and then the Senate signs off on it, and I have to wonder if that would even happen, because you also got to remember, a lot of these senators have money in overseas accounts, and this could actually backfire on them. I really don't know. Bottom line is, candy's hurting right now. Some people told me this morning that in messages, they said they had sold out of candy. But my $1,000 plummet came specifically from Candy and Neo. Pretty much everything else was stable. My 100 shares here of Fiat Chrysler was not only stable, but it's basically, oh, damn, look at that. It's $16 right now. Wow, $16. So it's actually trading right now at basically the 52-week high, which was 16.04. I'll be damned. Okay, I didn't even see that. After hours trading pushed it up because last time I looked at it was like $15.55. So anyway, Fiat Chrysler, SRT, Hellcats, Trackhawks, and all the good stuff, not those stupid, boring Nissans and those stupid, boring Hondas. Fiat Chrysler is way up there, huh? How about that? So CTIC, Biopharma, they're doing pretty well. So I gained I made $500, $498 off of whatever I put in because I bought in at, 84 cents, and right now the value is $3.34. BLOZF has been making moves. Somebody sent me a message and they told me that marijuana stocks were up. Yeah, they actually very much are. So blows off, as you can see, there's just 1,000 shares right there. I've gained $404. This is one of the reasons why I always tell you, don't be afraid of penny stocks, because even when they move up a small amount, that turns into a lot of money. So you figure I bought blows off when it was 15 cents. I sold off when it was like $2.90 something. Then I came back and bought back in at 25 cents a share. So right now it's 65, and the high was actually 83 cents, and that was as late as yesterday. It was actually at 83 cents yesterday. And probably early this morning, but I wasn't paying enough attention to it. Ford, I bought Ford here. This is just 100 shares of Ford. This is not, keep in mind, this is only one small portfolio. I bought Ford 100 shares. That was $5.36, and now it's up to $9.24. I was hoping to see it get a little bit higher, but it is close to its year-long high at $9.57. Candy, as you know, I'm still up $366. You hear those stupid fart cans behind me? This is what happens when you have losers who tune up these horrible bullshit Hondas and shit, and then they try to drive through your block at top speed because they're trying to make it sound like they have a cool car. I just hate these people. But anyway, oil companies like Silica and S&M, I bought into these at, $1.04. $1.09, it's up to $4.81, $4.10. However, the high for Silica is $6.55, so I'm seeing how much higher we can get with that one before I consider selling. But I've made $332 off of that. S&M is, S&M is, $4.10 right now. I bought it at $1.90, so basically I made $220, but it has a high of $12.40, so I'm waiting to see how high we can go on that one. ISBC, Internet Investors Bank Corp, we're up on that. It's one of the few banks that I didn't just sell off, but I want to see how close we can get to its high of $12 before I decide to sell out of there. But basically, those things have been doing pretty good. TTI bought in at 28 cents, and it's up to 80 cents, so that's $100. So basically, as you go down, my gains get lower and lower because those are the smaller stocks that are less interesting right now. But as for marijuana, MCOA, I told you about the same time between MCOA and MJNA, And I bought in at, what is this, 0.019, and right now it's moved up to 0.002. That was a penny stock. I bought 20,000 shares of that, and right now I've made $1. Marijuana, as I told you, now that we have Kamala Lock-em-up Harris about to swear in and about to replace Joe Biden, who twisted his ankle, she's going to replace him as president. And by the way, the last thing I need is one of you right-winger Republican trolls trying to say, oh, yeah, you see, Biden was just a puppet and Kamala Harris is going to end up being president. It's like, yeah, I know that. In the very beginning, I wanted Kamala Harris to be at the top of the ticket, but she sucks at campaigning. So it looks like she's just going to have to be president in a roundabout way. So please don't tell me I told you so, because this is actually something that I wanted from the very beginning. So I actually still win. How about that? I just went in a roundabout way. But anyway, Kamala Lock-em-up Harris is going to deal with this crime in ways that Trump never dreamed of. And on top of that, she's going to legalize marijuana in order to make it so that you can smoke weed without getting locked up. So MCOA was another one that I bought. But there's also this other one, the MJNA. Some of these things haven't made much money yet. 10,000 shares here. I bought 10,000 shares of these. But the beautiful thing about it is because I got them so cheap, yeah, I'm only down like, what, $9, $11, $11, $12, $14. It's not that bad. Thing about it is once these things actually do start moving up, like MJNA is medical marijuana. You know, New Jersey and a bunch of other states have started their process of legalizing marijuana. The trend in this stock is actually, it's been wavering because right now marijuana, you can't easily buy it. It's like you got to go across state lines in order to get high. So my thing is, I'm in, and that's the bottom line. I bought 10,000 shares. So surely I can do with a temporary loss of $11.90 for a little while. Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. But I'm not going to buy any more marijuana stocks. Here's my I'm not going to, what is it? I'm not going to put more money into the market until February. But what I'm thinking at this point is now that the economy is coming back, I'm focused, and I think I've mentioned this before in another video. I'm focused on buying big oil. And I'm also focused, like, for instance, let's see if I can show you my watch lists. If I show you my watch lists, it'll make sense. But big oil, as far as Chevron, Exxon, BP, Sunoco, so forth and so on, the biggest of oil companies. Chevron is normally trading at, or it's typical a year ago, it was $122. Right now, it's still at 87. Exxon is normally at 71. Right now, it's at 38. Shell is normally at 61. Right now, it's at 35. BP is normally 40. Right now, it's 20. Big oil, the big companies, those are the ones you want to definitely be able to get your money into. I've already bought shares in these things. It's just that I plan on investing more. My thing is, now that Tesla's part of the S&P 500, I'm also thinking about buying index funds more often. So this way I can get shares and pieces of shares. And this way I don't even have to really look at this, because over time, the S&P 500 and the Dow just continue to grow. So in my lifetime, or let's say for the next 10 to 15 years, I feel that that's a safer, easier investment to make. So as far as the banks, it's like I would go with oil over bank stock, but that's up to you. You can do whatever you want. And cruise lines are definitely still worth buying. The problem is nobody's moving right now. Cruise lines aren't moving. Airlines aren't moving. So you're not going to make any money off of these. Look at the airlines are still hemorrhaging money, which is actually strange because I thought their share values would have dropped more. And let me tell you something else. Trump ain't passing no more stimulus plans. He already knows that he doesn't get to be president anymore. As far as he's concerned, the hell with you. I heard that he's raised like over $150 million from all of his pathetic loser donators or donation people, whatever you want to call them, people who are donating money to him. And I am waiting for January 20th, high noon, when Kamala Harris gets sworn in and you realize that you gave him all that money and you got scammed and you're not getting any of it back. Because there was actually a story about a guy, I think he gave Trump like $2.5 million and he tried to get it back. And they were like, no, you're not getting it back. No take backs. He's stupid. Should have never given him no damn money. But whatever. That's your loss. If you donated any money to Trump, I hope you never get any of it back. I hope you realize what a fool you've been. And I hope that that money could have been used for something more important, like a PlayStation 5 or something, and you just can't have any more money because you don't have any because you were stupid enough to give it to Trump. I hope you never get any of it back. Good for you. Stupid. So anyway, that's about that. That's about all I really had to focus on, I think. But, yeah, this whole thing about Trump's administration attacking these Chinese companies, see, I already know the values there. They're going to, with or without America, China is going to do just fine. And they'll be selling those cars all over India. They'll be selling them all over Southeast Asia. The only people who lose out is Americans because we're dealing with a stupid government and a stupid administration, especially this administration. I can't wait till Kamala Harris swears on that Bible and throws these idiots out. And she should just lock them all up. There's no point in not putting these people in jail. Some people are, more liberal, and there's some people who are not as tough on crime. I would have them executed, honestly, but you can't really just do that. So my thing is just throw them in jail. Forget them. And throw away the key. Throw away the key. So, and it's funny, you don't hear them say that anymore. When I was a kid, they used to say that in cartoons. They'd be like, yeah, we should lock them up and throw away the key. You don't hear that anymore. And you just, it's weird because a lot of these things, the liberals, they took out of our vocabulary. But see, I'm old enough to remember. It's like they used to be tough on crime, but not anymore. It's like now graft and scams are running rampant. It's just ridiculous. So, any other winners today? AMD is up to $92.40 with a high of 94. Do you remember when I told you to buy AMD and Logitech? And I told you to buy those things at $50 when they were like 48 to 50. Well, I hope you do remember because I was absolutely right. AMD is they're going through $100 easily. You could see that's their trend, man. Over 1 year, AMD is easily going to $100 plus. They'll probably hit $200 within the next 2 years because they keep on making more and more CPUs. They keep on making more and more of these cheap GPUs that aren't as good as NVIDIA, but they are good enough for poor people. So that's good. Logitech, as you can see, the trend. Look at that trend. This is Logitech. Do you see this thing right here? This Cytec X56. See that? You see these rudder pedals down there? You probably can't see those because it's dark in here. But yeah, all of this stuff is made by Logitech. I mean, I told everybody, I was like, yo, buy Logitech. But I hope you listen. Tesla, I saw a report. I was reading a story. They were saying Tesla may be the one EV company absolutely worth investing in. I agree with that. The only thing about it is I still believe in diversifying. I still believe in being in more than one place at one time because just in case something collapses, you don't get stuck in one place. The thing that people need to remember about Tesla and about Apple is once you park your money in Tesla or Apple, you do not take it out until you're about to retire. Shorting Tesla, shorting Apple, those are fool's mistakes. You don't short these things. I mean, I learned the hard way. I bought into Tesla $30 a share, and I sold at $1,005, but the shit kept going up after I sold, and then on top of that, they announced a stock split. If I had held on to Tesla a little longer, I could have probably made another $200,000, but I shorted it. So, hey, you live, you learn. It was just that I had to wait 8 years. After a big initial investment, I had to wait 8 years for Tesla to get to where it was. So, you know what? I ain't worried about it. I'm not worried about it because there's other investment opportunities, and there'll always be more investment opportunities because all these companies are popping up left and right. You got people going into Peloton and everything. There's just so many things. And granted, electric vehicles is a very good place to be temporarily for probably the next year or two because all of these companies have basically said, listen, we're going electric. I was reading a story today. Maserati said, yeah, all of our vehicles are going to be EV or a hybrid soon. Maserati. Yeah. So they said, yeah, very soon, all of our vehicles are going to be EV or hybrid. And everybody else is saying the same thing. Volvo's got their Polestar coming out. Nobody wants that because it's ugly and boring. And then it costs way too much. It's like $100,000. The sweet spot for an EV is about $50,000. Candy was trying to sell you an EV for $10,000, between 10 and 12, and possibly even 20. But cheaper EV always win. I mean, there's some losers out there who still drive around in smart cars. If you can get an EV out there for less than $10,000 or less than $15,000, you're going to win. The problem is having to deal with nonsense coming from administrations like these people in the Trump administration who should right now be packing their stuff and getting ready to get sworn out by President Lock-em-up Kamala Harris. So, you know, it's really, but that's just what it is. So once again, that's where I am today. So today, again, down 1,200, I think, yeah, 1,000, let's say $1,300. It's no big deal. But only because of Candy and Neo am I down. Now, if I were to sell out of Neo right now, if I sell my whole position, I'd still make $9. Now, I was up like hundreds of dollars with the Candy and Neo. In fact, my Candy was, what was it? I think my market value on Candy was like $2,800 or something, and that was just in this portfolio. But I'm waiting to see what happens with this stupid Holding Countries Accountable Act, because if that doesn't pass, I think the Chinese stocks will ride back out of this. Because you got to remember, Trump started this. He started this trade war. And in the long run, I guess it's actually good that I got to see what would happen if somebody was stupid enough to start protectionist policies against a country that's making virtually 90% of all of your consumer goods. But Trump's infantile protectionist policy is something that I actually had considered years before he even came into office. And the question is, well, what would it look like if somebody was stupid enough to try to do that bring all the jobs back to America thing? It's like, that's not realistic. And now with Trump in office, you see why it's not realistic. Because ultimately, you can't bring these factories back because, first of all, you got to deal with the pollution for one. And then on top of that, we're no longer tooled up for that. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is one of the reasons why there are so many of these factories and they're all in these blue states that are highly populous, blue states, is because these cities, whether you're talking about not Long Island, whether you're talking about New York City or you're talking about LA, they have always allowed immigrants to come in just to come in to work, because they knew that they'd be able to get damn near slave labor from these people. So now that you've got somebody who goes all protectionist and says, oh, we're not going to let immigrants in from certain places, specifically brown countries, but we're not going to let these people in. And then on top of that, we're going to impose tariffs on these other countries. When you take on these protectionist policies, you're basically saying, you know what? A lot of the things that we'd normally be able to get, we're just not going to get. And on top of that, I'm going to try to force everybody to force them to make it here. The problem is GM, Ford, those companies are not designed to make PPE. They're designed to make cars. But while we were shut down, that's what they had to do. They had to make all this PPE equipment. You can't just force factories to make what you want them to make when you want them to make it, because that's not free market. It's anti-capitalist. It's anti-corporatist. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So we're finding that out now. If Trump had kept his goddamn stupid mouth shut, I guarantee you coronavirus never would have happened. Guaranteed. And the beautiful thing about COVID-19 is that it took his ass out of office. So while Trump was saying, oh, yeah, the coronavirus is going to be gone by November, coronavirus particles got together and said, yeah, Trump is going to be gone by January. So he did it to himself. So I'm tired of Sean Hannity and Andrew Wilkow and that moron Mark Levine. I'm tired of them saying that the Chinese did this in order to get rid of him. I'll tell you, maybe they did, but I guarantee it wouldn't have happened if he had kept his stupid mouth shut. It's like some people are just not good leaders. They're good at declaring bankruptcy, but they're not good leaders, and that's just where you go. So, yeah, that's it. The Dow, I think right now, the Dow is like, I think it's like still at 30,000. I'm not really sure. Let's check. Oh, damn. The Dow hit 30,000 earlier today, but it's down to 29,823. The S&P, as you know, is continuing to rise, which is why going forward in 2021, I'm going to specifically invest in index stocks. So I'll say that right now. I may reserve a little bit of money for buying ETFs, but my thing is I'd rather be in index stocks. There are some people who like to do options trading. I'm not into options trading. It's too much to pay attention to. I'd rather just buy stocks, hold them, and then sell them, or buy index funds, hold them, and then just sell them or collect the dividends or whatever. To me, that just makes more sense. But see, the sad thing about it is this market is so fucked up until if you're putting money in a savings account, which I do, you don't get anything out of it. The dividends that you get out of the stock market are considerably higher, which is like a way to sucker people into the stock market rather than, allowing them to just save their money as cash. So saving your money as cash, you actually lose because your money is slowly losing value. Meanwhile, if you put it in the stock market and you put all this risk on your money, your money is appreciating, but it's in a digital form and it's appreciating. It doesn't, it's just numbers on a screen. So that's how bad they've got this market all screwed up. So my bottom line is, yeah, I'll buy some index funds or I'll buy more index funds. But my thing is, it's like there's no way. I feel even with real estate, a lot of these, there's two types of YouTubers that have popped up that I'm getting sick and tired of. One are these fake real estate gurus, and the other one are these debt shamers. You may know some of these people, and they jump on and they constantly talking about debt, like Dave Ramsey and this, that, and other. First of all, we're in a situation now where you're going to go into debt one way or another. And even if you own everything, you're still going to be paying taxes. So you could still end up in debt, even if you own everything. You could own your car, you could own your house 100% paid off, but you still got to pay insurance. You still got to pay the taxes on your house, your property taxes. You can end up in debt even if you're not a spendthrift. So it's really annoying having to listen to these people. And these people are talking about real estate. If you have tenants who you can't get your money from because they're out of a job because of COVID, and then you happen to live in a city that slows down or disallows you to take legal action against them to evict them, you could have a great real estate thing going, and then all of a sudden something like this wipes you out, and it's not your fault. It's just how things were. So my thing is, I feel safe putting my money in real estate. The only thing about it is, even with real estate, there is a large amount of risk, especially now. There's a large amount of risk that you have to take on. So that's just my thoughts right there. So what does it says? Dow Jones loses ground as McConnell shoots down coronavirus stimulus. Jesus Christ. When do people just die? It's like, how long does it take for people to just die? They're talking about having term limits. It's like, thank God for death. Death is the ultimate term limit. It's like eventually these names that you keep hearing, they just go away because the people die. It actually works out so much better that way. Hey, how much is Intel worth? Intel's, what is this? $49.56. How are we doing with Intel? I don't like this view. Intel's 52-week range was up to 69.29. And right now, it's at 49.56. Yeah, well, it looks like it is coming back. What's its market cap? $203 billion. Oh, so I guess they haven't decided to become a $1 trillion company like Apple yet, huh? Oh, well, anyway. Yeah, so anyway, that's that. That's all I really had to say. But yeah, if you're shorting your Chinese stocks right now, like Candy, Xpeng, Neo, if you're shorting them, I honestly can't blame you. You could take that money and run with it. I mean, I could put in a sell order right now, But before I do anything, I'm going to wait to see what happens with the stupid congressional act. Because as you can see, I'm still up on candy and I'm still up by a couple of dollars on the NEO stock that's here. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And if Congress does stupidly pass that thing, holding countries accountable nonsense, if they do that, then I'll sell my Chinese stocks. Other than that, I'm going to hold them. And that's just how I'm going to do it. But this is just a little bit of money. This is not that much. It's $1,200. I've lost way more than that other times. In fact, I think I've wasted way more money than that. So it's not a big deal. It's just $1,200 that I'm down for the experimental account. So hopefully 2 weeks from now or come Christmas, I'll be able to say that I'm back up to 12,000. 12,000 is kind of like my target number with my trading. Now, I think we could come back, but I'm going to have to wait and see what happens with Congress because these people are really, really annoying.